The next question when evaluating my media product is, how does your media product represent a particular social group? I started by analysing my artists. I chose to use very young models, is the first point that I picked up on. I did this because the social group I'm targeting are the younger generation, and I feel like they'll identify with someone of the same age group. I also chose to put my models in very dark casual clothing because the social group I'm targeting are very alternative people. They do wear dark clothes, indie, they're very cool, young, hip people. And I also chose to have a model on the front that is very young and has a natural look. I did this because my social group that I'm targeting are very different. They don't conform to society's norms, and they're not plastered with makeup. They are very chilled out, natural looking kids that just are very different. Mise en scène. First of all, the boys on my contents page are sitting on wooden steps. I chose to put them on the wooden steps because it makes them look like they're just chilling out, having a good time, and this represents a social group that I'm targeting, because the social group I'm targeting are the sort of people that would just chill out together, very laid back, and it's a very natural looking shot because they are sat on the wooden steps. My secondary female artist on the contents page is laying across a vintage sofa. I chose to use this prop because my social group that I'm targeting would be interested in vintagey things. They want to know about the old styles, and they aren't looking at the new modern sort of things, and I felt like that would interest them. I also chose to have my main artist on my double page spread standing on a Marshall amp. I did this because the social group that I'm targeting would know exactly what make that is, and they would know that this magazine is very legit and it would attract them to the magazine. I also chose to have her holding a guitar. I chose this prop because it shows that she's an authentic artist, and it just makes her look a bit more like a really well-established artist. Editing. I used editing to represent a particular social group because I used a lot of dark colours throughout my house. My house style is very dark, and this represents the social group indie kids because a lot of the clothes they wear are very dark. They're not into pinks and bright blues and colours like that. I also edited a lot of the pictures and made them black and white for the same reason, to show the dark colours. They're the sort of things that my target social group are going to be interested in. I photoshopped a lot of the photos using tools such as lasso and cropping. I did this because it just makes the magazine look a lot more authentic. I chose to, on the double page spread, I chose to have my artist sitting on top of the pull quote. I made this choice because I feel like it makes her look a lot more casual, and this would represent my social group once again because they are very casual people. They're not very posy, and they're not really bothered about conforming to social norms. Camera work. So I decided on my contents page to use a long shot of the boys sitting on the steps. I did this because it shows the shadows in the photo, and my social group that I'm targeting, like I've said before, like very dark colours, dark shadows, and the long shot shows that. I chose to have my female model on the contents page in a landscape photo. I made this choice so you can see her whole outfit, you can see the vintage sofa, and that would attract my target social group. I did a close-up of my artist showing that she's young. Like I said before, my target social group is very young, so they'll see that from this close-up and they'll know, oh okay, they'll feel like they can relate to her. She's doing an over-the-shoulder pose. This is again to get that casual feel so it doesn't feel too posed, but at the same time it is a very well edited and created photo. On the double page spread, I have a lower angle shot of the artist, showing that females can be very dominant. And I made this decision because my social group are very forward thinking and they would want to see more female artists being recognised. And I used a lot of natural lighting in the photos, once again just to show that it's very relaxed, it's not posy or set up. And the social group that I'm targeting, I think they would be really interested in a magazine that shows very natural looking artists.